Hello, puppy owners and dog owners. Welcome. Today, we are going to be talking about 5 behaviors that owners think are normal that could be signs that your dog is under a lot of stress. So I have been doing so much work lately with stress and research of stress, working with a lot of amazing vets and research professionals, digging into what stress does to your dogs. So today we're going to talk about a few of the signs that you can look for because most vets actually don't know they don't look for any of these things. We're not kind of educated about this stuff. They only see the end result, which is disease, which is bad behavior, which is all different things that can kind of turn up in your dog, bad digestion, all kinds of things. And the vets only see it when it turns into a disease or something that they recognize as being wrong with your dog. So what we want to do is back up a little bit and find the behaviors that are letting us know that our dog is actually stressed. Some of these things are things that we're trained to think are really cute. So today we're going to look at those things, and then you're going to find I'm going to show you really easy ways to start unraveling these this stress that causes bad behavior and eventually bad health. So don't worry, none of this is permanent. Once we identify it, then we can solve it. All right, so let's jump right in. So there are 5 behaviors that I'm going to talk about today that you want to be on the lookout for. The first one is constant panting. So if your dog pants when they are not finished with a huge long run, when it's not super hot out, when they're just inside and they're just panting for kind of no reason, you definitely want to keep your eye on that, because that can really show us that our dogs are in fight or flight. You might have heard about this, people talking about it for humans. You're either using your sympathetic nervous system or your parasympathetic nervous system to get really official. But really what it means is we're naturally designed as our dogs to have a fight or flight mechanism, which is a high level of stress that we use to react in moments of crisis, right? When they were wolves in the wild and they were being chased by something that was going to eat them, they definitely needed to have their fight or flight ready to go. But our dogs at home don't have those kind of threats, but sometimes they can get stuck in that fight or flight mode. And one of the ways we can see that that's happening is when they are panting, when there's no reason for them to be panting, right? And we're taught, oh, that's how they cool themselves down. Absolutely. But if there's not a reason for them to be cooling themselves, then that is something to watch for. Okay, number 2 is that they can't settle. So if you have a dog that lies down for 5 minutes and then gets up and moves somewhere else and lies down and just seems kind of like uncomfortable or agitated, that is another sign. So they definitely should be sleeping calmly and restfully 12 to 14 hours a day. They shouldn't have to be up and down and up and down. So that is number 2. That's the second thing that we want to be looking for. Number 3 is one that we are all going to recognize. I think I certainly do with one of my dogs, and that is your dog follows you everywhere. So we always say, oh, it's so cute. My dog follows me to the bathroom. They follow me everywhere, right? That is actually a sign of stress. That is showing you that your dog thinks that something bad is going to happen and they feel like they need your protection all the time. So if we see that, that can be the beginning stages of separation anxiety, and is something that we just want to note, right? We want that to be one of the things that we're looking for. So that's number 3. Keep track of how many your dogs have. So number 1 is constant panting. Number 2 is that they can't settle. Number 3, they follow you around everywhere, right? Number 4 is that they overreact to kind of normal sounds. So a lot of dogs are afraid of what are they called? Fireworks, thunder, things like that. That is excessive sound. That is really loud and it gets them very upset. There are ways to calm our dogs when we know those things are going to happen, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about someone like slams a door or the neighbor slams their car door and your dog flips out. The air conditioner turns on and your dog reacts. Different things, even if it's not like excessive barking and running around the house like a lunatic, even if you see that their stress level increases, right? Even it can be like a slippery floor in your house is causing them stress, right? We're looking for like what is causing that stress. And we're looking for these overreactions, particularly in this case to sounds, but sometimes it can be to other environmental things as well. And you know, if your dog is doing that, you're going right now, oh yeah, there's a few things. I have a pandemic puppy, Tessa, who is the biggest hearted dog I've ever met in my life. She is so sweet. But honestly, it took us a long time to unravel her anxiety because we weren't able to socialize her for so long. We got her right before the pandemic. She also came from like a puppy mill situation. So she had some stuff going on already. But that one is big with her. There are still some things that, you know, there's if a truck in the street backs up, that beeping sound of a backing up truck, I don't know what happened to her as a puppy, but there was something bad connected to a truck backing up, because if there's a truck in our neighborhood that backs up, she still gets very upset. So these are things that I've slowly over time been unraveling with her. And now that I'm learning more about the stress in dogs and how to treat it, it's accelerating like crazy and it's really cool. So, okay. That was number 4, was overreacting to sounds, right? Number 5 is if they are destructive only when you're gone. So you leave the house, you come back, your dog has ripped up the garbage, or they ripped up the couch, or chewed on the rug, or whatever, right? Chewed your shoes. That's a sad one. Then we know that is not boredom. We're often taught like, oh, your dog doesn't have enough exercise or they're bored, right? But it actually is a puppy panic attack. That's them trying to get their stress out of their body, right? They're so stressed out about being alone that's how they're dealing with their stress. Okay, so I just have some notes down here so I don't forget anything. So I'm just going to flip my page. So what does it mean, right? So if you have, so tally them up. Oh, let me just do them one more time. So number 1 was constant panting when they're not hot. Number 2, can't settle down, up and down, not sleeping soundly. Number 3, follows you everywhere. Number 4, overreacts to normal sounds. And number 5 is destructive when you're gone. So tally up which ones your dog has. Throw it in the chat if you want. You can share it. Don't worry, we're going to solve these. So don't be embarrassed. This is not your fault. None of these things are your fault. We don't know. We haven't known about this, right? So don't worry, we're going to solve it. So if you want to just throw the number that your dog, how many of these things your dog does in the chat, that would be fabulous. I'd love to see. So let's talk about this. So if your dog has 1 to 2 of these behaviors, they are at the early stages of stress. So nothing has gotten too escalated yet. They are still at a low level of stress. And this is a great time to start addressing some of these things before it gets any worse. So you're in the right place, because now you're going to learn the 4 things you can do to start bringing those stress levels back down. If you got 3 or more, then you have a dog that is chronically stressed and they are already probably having physical, it's affecting their physical health. So a lot of the diseases that dogs have, just like us, it's from things that have happened to us over time. So one of the things that causes disease in dogs is stress, just like us, same as us. I know I'm always trying to detangle my own stress for those reasons, right? So now we have to focus on our dog for that as well. So if you had 3 or more of those behaviors, your dog is in a chronic stress level, and you definitely want to start focusing on this. If you have all 5, then your dog's in a little bit of a crisis mode. We need to just go, right? We need to do some of these things. We need to become a detective and help our dogs out we want to start to de-escalate this stress as fast as you can, because you just, their quality of life is being affected, your quality of life is being affected, and they over time are only going to get more stressed. They're going to get more destructive, and it's breaking down their systems inside their body. Okay, let's talk about what to do. First of all, good news. We absolutely can reverse this stress. Now that we know what we're looking for, I'm going to tell you what you're looking for in a minute, but now that we know what to do, then you can start turning it around. Yeah, I'm seeing 2 of these. Linda has 2 of these, and yeah, Amy, Velcro puppy. I know I have a Velcro puppy too. And until I started doing this research, I was like, oh, it's so cute. I'm her person. She loves me so much. And now I'm like, oh, whoops. Okay, I got to start working on this a little bit. So yeah, just something to keep in mind, right? Keep in mind. So all right, let's talk about what we do. The first thing we want to do is identify what's actually stressing out our dog. So not what we read online, not what our vet said is stressing our dog, not what you think is stressing them, but we need to become detectives, and we need to figure out like what is actually stressing out our dogs. So you know your dog better than anyone, and you probably already know a couple of things, but are they reacting when the washing machine goes on? Are they reacting when there's people walking in the street? Are they reacting when you're out for a walk and there's a certain kind of person? It's so funny that if you don't do your socialization with all different kinds of people, sometimes there's like a man in a hat will make a dog get really stressed, or bald. I had a friend come over who was bald, and I realized I hadn't socialized my dog with bald men, and she was scared of him. So there you go. So you need to find those things that your specific dog is afraid of. What raises their stress levels, right? Step 2, we're going to remove the stress triggers. So we are not going to train around them, right? This is not a situation where we're like, okay, my dog doesn't like men in hats, so I'm going to find men in hats, and I'm going to teach her with treats, and I'm going to have her sit right by that man, and I'm going to give her treats, because we already have this heightened fight or flight reaction. So we need first to eliminate that stressor. So if you think about it, it's like if you break your ankle, right? And then you don't let it heal and you run a marathon like that. You can't do that. You have to rest it. And then over time, you build it back up, and then you can run a marathon. Our dogs are the same. So we need to remove that stress. If your dog flips out when the doorbell rings, you need to disconnect your doorbell for a little while. Right? We need to just take away these stressors as much as we can. Like I said in the beginning, things like thunder, there's nothing we can do about that. That's a more of a normal reaction. We're looking for the things that are a little bit out of the normal, like a doorbell should not panic our dogs, right? So, right. So we want to remove the stressors, whatever they are. If your dog is scared of going to the dog park, we're going to hold off on going to the dog park for now, right? We're going to let our dog have some time to decompress and not be in these stressful situations all the time, because what happens is they feel like they have no control. Right? They're afraid of something, and we're like, go ahead. Like a big one is like a new person, and you can tell your dog's afraid, and you're like, oh, go say hi, or go play with that dog. It's okay. Go ahead. Go do it. They feel like they have no control. So now they're in this heightened fight or flight. The only thing they know how to do is go away or be scared. And we are forcing them to confront it right in that moment, right? While they're in that panicky state. Okay. So you get it. You have to take the stress away. I love talking about this stuff, so I tend to go on and on. Okay, number 3, we want to teach the nervous system to calm down naturally. So one of the things we can do is decompression time, right? A lot of dogs have very busy lives. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's kids and other dogs and family and things and walks. And so we want to have some decompression time. They actually did a cool research study where classical music helps dogs calm down. Who knew? So better than silence, even. They didn't even compare it to other music. They compared it to silence. Classical music calms them naturally, their natural calming systems. So that's a cool thing to do when your dog goes to take a nap. Put a little classical music on, it'll calm you down too. It's good for you. Also, think about relaxation techniques. I've been starting to do massage with my dogs. Actually, I've been doing it now for probably a couple years, but it is amazing. They love it so much. It really calms them down. It releases the tension out of their muscles, and it lets them know like you're in a safe space, because also you're taking the time to be there with them, to focus on them, to calm them down. That's another part of like our crazy busy lives. A lot of times our dogs are just kind of there. Like we love them so much and we're going to snuggle them in the morning and at night or whatever. But like a lot of times during the day, they just become like a normal fixture in our life, and we don't have that time to like connect with them, and they really need that. So massage is great. If you take your fingers on their ears and you just like pull out along their ear, that's like a meridian line that really calms them down. That's a really good one too. And also a predictable routine. So dogs love routine. And one of the things we just talked about is they feel like they're out of control, right? They're getting in this high stress, they're in a panic, and they can't control whether they have to go on a walk or they have to do this or that, because we're telling them, sit, go in your crate, do all the things, right? So if they have a predictable routine, they start to feel like they're more in control. So that helps too, to kind of just even out, whoops, hit my camera, even out their day so that they know what's coming and it's predictable for them. That starts to calm them down. So we spend a little time doing these calming techniques, right? Number 4, we just talked about it, but actually number 4 is to have that consistent daily routine. So we want to balance our mental stimulation, like brain games. You've probably heard of those, right? Where that even any kind of little puzzle game, or even a frozen toy with something healthy inside is great for them. Licking calms them down, right? That's very pacifying for them. So we want to have our mental stimulation part of our day, which is like a dog game, or I always roll treats up in a towel and then tie the towel in a knot, and they have to unknot it and get the treats out. That's a good one. Physical exercise and rest. So we have our mental brain game part of the day, we have our physical exercise part of the day, and our rest part of the day, and our feeding. And we want to keep those things regularly scheduled in our day as much as you can. As much, I know life is crazy, but as much as you can, start to make that a little predictable for your dog. So there's certain things they know are going to happen at a certain time, and they are going to feel like, whew, okay, I know what's happening today. Okay, cool. So we do our 4 different critical steps. We identify what's actually stressing our dog. We remove those stressors. We do our calming techniques with our dogs, and we have a consistent daily routine. And then over time, as we see our dogs start to calm, and I've seen this happen within 4 days. Dogs that are crazy, I've seen them calm in 4 days, a week, right? Like these short periods of time where they just flip out of that fight or flight, and behaviors start to melt away. All of the bad behavior, not listening to you, not being able to train your dogs, them chewing things up, all the things just start to melt away. Things that we thought we had to train are now, all that bad behavior is just going away because the stress is going away. So that's how important this is. Beyond it being something that's important for their health over time, day to day, they will just be happier, better dogs. Okay, so I hope this all makes sense. I hope you're going to become a detective and start to look for the things that your dog is stressing over, and help your dog to not be stuck in that fight or flight. And remember, your dog isn't broken. This isn't permanent, and it's nothing that you did at all. It's just something we have to pay attention to and take the steps to unravel for them, because they're not able to do it on their own. Right. So I am, as I mentioned, deep in the research of creating a new program about calming your dog down. I'm really passionate about it, because the more I get into it, the more important I see it is. The more I see it's like the key to everything. So that's coming out in a few weeks. I'm working really hard to get it done. If you're interested in it, you can just DM me and let me know. I'll put you on the wait list and you'll be the first to know when it comes out. It's going to be, I hope, in just like 6 weeks. That's my goal. But I'm shooting all the videos for it now and everything, and I'm super excited about it. But my final thoughts for you today are just start to change your thinking. Don't get angry at your dog when they misbehave. Start to look at like, what is the trigger that caused that? Because when you're having a panic attack, if you've ever had one, they're horrible. So when you're in that like heightened stress, or like work is really stressing you out, it's the worst feeling in the world. So we definitely don't want our dogs to be there or to live there. So start to be a detective for your dog, find those things that are stressing them and start learning how to calm your dog down. Not only will it make them happier and healthier and better behaved, but it will increase your bond. They will love you for it. All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions at all. You can just drop them in the comments. I will come back around and answer all your questions. And I hope you have a fantastic day. All right, you guys, I hope your dogs are doing great, and I will see you next week.